most popular cafes in Bengaluru on the 1st of March. India's top anti-terror agency NIA was roped in to lead the hunt for the terrorists who had orchestrated the attack. And now within 45 days, the agency has busted the vicious ISIS terror nexus and the terrorist trio responsible for the devastation. Terrorist Musawir Hussain Shazib, who had placed the bomb at the cafe, and Abdul Mateen Taha, the mastermind of the blast, were arrested from Bengal. As per sources, the two men had been living in West Bengal for 3 weeks, checking into small hotels and living under aliases before the central agency zeroed in on them. The two arrested terrorists were produced at an NIA court which granted a 3-day transit remand, following which they were brought back to Bengaluru. Republic also managed to access CCTV footage from the hotels where the two accused were staying in. The two terrorists, who claimed they were from Maharashtra, had moved from hotel to hotel in different parts to avoid suspicion. They had also presented different fake Aadhaar cards at each hotel they were in. The two accused were brought to Bengaluru during the wee hours of Saturday morning and taken to the detention cell in Madiwala. Later on Saturday, the two terrorists were sent to St. John's Hospital for medical checkup and then produced before a magistrate.
The special court of the NIA's magistrate has now gone ahead and granted the National Investigation Agency a 10-day custody of both the accused, Abdul Mateen Taha as well as Musafir Shazib Hussain as well. And it is being understood that both the accused will be taken to the blast site as well, and a spot inquest will be conducted to essentially go ahead and understand as to what happened during the course of going ahead and placing the bomb. And they will also be looking at the mode of payments through the dark web via crypto wallets for all these anti-national activities which had been carried out by various ISIS modules across the course of time in Karnataka.
Meanwhile, CM Siddaramaiah congratulated the NIA team's efforts.
NIA and also the Karnataka police people, they could able to trace the accused persons and arrested them in Kolkata. ಅವರು ಈಗ ಕಲ್ಕತ್ತಾದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ.
With the blast mastermind now in custody for the next 10 days, it remains to be seen as to what else the NIA is going to uncover regarding the ISIS terror nexus and its foreign handler. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
My colleague Prajwal is joining us live from Bengaluru with the latest details. Prajwal, what is the focus of the investigation this evening?
Niranjan, first and foremost, now the cops are in fact going ahead and looking into the financial angle as well. And mainly they will start off pertaining to this particular case too, because a lot of money was flowing through the dark web from the Middle East as well. So that would be the first. And secondly, they would want to also understand as to what was the motive behind this too. Because for one, it is known that they wanted to establish an Islamic caliphate by 2047. They also wanted to go out and carry out attacks against those who do not follow the prophecy of Islam. But last but not the least, which were these spots which were on the radar of these terrorists is something that needs to be known. Also, Abdul Mateen Taha, who is now being named as the mastermind, is wanted in over 8 cases in Karnataka, and in the other states as well, he's wanted in over 5 cases too. So the National Investigation Agency, after trying to go ahead and corroborate evidence as well as the main information from Abdul Mateen Taha, will also go ahead and investigate him in other cases too. At this point of time, the next course of the investigation will be that after the interrogation, it is expected that both Abdul Mateen Taha as well as Musafir Shazib Hussain will be taken to the spot, to the Rameshwaram cafe for a spot inquest. And not only that, the searches had been conducted in 3 states across 18 locations. So whichever location and the mode of transport that had been used and where they had stayed for a period of this particular time will also be seen through, and they will also be taken to these particular locations where they had stayed for a period of time as well. And they will also try to ascertain ascertain whether they had any sort of external help, because Abdul Mateen Taha had gone ahead and instructed Muzammil Sharif to go ahead and give the improvised explosive device to Muzaffar Shazib Hussain too. So therefore, once he had taken the device and placed it at the Rameshwaram cafe, the blast had taken place. But how was the blueprints of the cafe accessed, and how were the exit and entry routes of it accessed is also something that needs to be seen at this point of time. And last but not the least, there is one person by the name of Colonel who is wanted across India in 18 cases, in 10 cases in Karnataka, in 4 cases Maharashtra, 1 case in Delhi, 2 cases in Uttar Pradesh, and 1 in Jharkhand. So this person is the key and the tip of the iceberg, because he is considered to be a high value asset for the National Investigation Agency, and he's said to be the main funder behind all the atrocities as well as these bombings which had taken place in the name of ISIS across the entire nation as well. So what is the sort of relation which Abdul Mateen Taha has, and why has he been in contact with him for the last 6 years, and what is the sort of conversations that they have had, and how many meetings had taken place, and if there was any sort of one-to-one personal meeting too when Abdul Mateen Taha had flown abroad will also be learned during the course of the investigation, Niranjan.
Thank you for joining us with those details. Prajwal, stay with me. Moving on to the other breaking news update. In fact, ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, the exercise of voting has officially begun now. In fact, today, the Election Commission has started going to homes of senior citizens and those who can't go to the polling booth to collect their votes. And even in that exercise, there has been a political fight, with Congress filing a complaint against the BJP. Their allegation is that the BJP polling agents took the Election Commission officials to a few homes. Prajwal has those details as well. Prajwal, if you can take us through the visuals that we have, what these visuals show and what the allegation is.
Niranjan, first and foremost, this happened in the Rajajinagar Assembly constituency, which comes under the Bengaluru Central Lok Sabha constituency as well, where the polling officer along with the micro observer were seen going from house to house in Rajajinagar too, at which point of time there is also a BJP worker, is what the Congress is going on to allege, who is wearing a saffron shawl across his neck too, who has been taking these polling officials from one residence to other. But according to the ECI sweep, or the guidelines which has been laid out by the Election Commission of India, these polling officials will be given a details as well as the list of residential addresses as well, where the polling officials can therefore go by themselves and do this procedure. But the Congress now going ahead and questioning as to why was this BJP agent accompanying the polling officer as well as the micro observer too, because they will have to work independently without taking help from any of the parties. Secondly, there is also a former mayor Padmavati who's seen clashing with these election officials out there and questioning him as to where are the identity cards, at which point of time 2 of the polling officials out of the 3 have not given their valid ID cards to, and they have stated that they have lost it somewhere. So therefore, the booth agent as well as the election in charge for the Bengaluru Central for Mansoor Khan from the Congress, Mr. Praveen Peter, has gone ahead and filed a complaint with the State Election Commission office out here in Karnataka and stated that there has been irregularities by the polling officials. All these 2 officials who have not gone ahead and conducted their duty properly will have to be suspended, and also the votes which has been taken by them should not be counted, is what the Congress has demanded. So far, there has been no sort of response by the BJP over whether this particular person who's seen in the video is the worker or not, Niranjan.